lead you into the depths of the unknown, where every shadow holds a secret. The rain had started hours ago, a soft drizzle that quickly turned into a relentless downpour. I had taken a wrong turn on my way to the cabin, and now I found myself driving along a winding dirt road deep in the woods, with nothing but my headlights to pierce the darkness. The rhythmic tapping of the rain on the windshield was oddly soothing, but it couldn't drown out the unease creeping up my spine. The GPS signal had cut out miles ago, and my phone battery was rapidly dwindling. I couldn't shake the feeling that I wasn't alone, even though I hadn't seen another car or person for what felt like hours. The trees loomed over the road like silent sentinels, their branches twisting into grotesque shapes against the dim light of my high beams. Eventually, I spotted a small clearing up ahead, where the faint outline of a cabin came into view. Its windows glowed with a soft orange light, and for a moment, relief washed over me. Someone was here. I pulled into the clearing and turned off the engine, letting the rain fill the silence. As I stepped out of the car, the forest seemed to come alive. The sound of rain mingled with the occasional crack of a branch and the rustling of leaves. But there was something else, something faint and almost imperceptible. A whisper. It was so soft, I thought it might be the wind, but the tone was unmistakable. It sounded like a voice. I shook it off, blaming my overactive imagination, and approached the cabin. The wooden steps creaked under my weight, and as I knocked on the door, it slowly swung open. The air inside was heavy, thick with the smell of damp wood and something metallic, like rust. "Hello?" I called out, my voice echoing faintly in the empty space. The room was sparsely furnished, with an old sofa, a flickering oil lamp on a table, and a fireplace filled with ash. Everything about the place felt wrong, like it had been abandoned in a hurry. The light I had seen from outside was coming from the lamp, but there was no sign of whoever had lit it. As I stepped further in, I noticed something strange. The walls were covered in carvings, symbols I didn't recognize, jagged and chaotic, as if etched in a frenzy. They spiraled across the wood, drawing the eye toward a large, jagged crack in the far wall. I didn't want to get closer, but I couldn't help myself. The crack seemed to pulse, almost like it was breathing. I heard the whisper again, louder this time, coming from just behind me. I spun around, but there was nothing there, only the open door, and beyond it, the dark, rain-drenched woods. My heart was pounding now, and the air felt colder, heavier. I decided I needed to leave. Whatever sense of safety I had felt when I first saw the cabin was long gone. But as I turned to step back through the door, it slammed shut on its own, the force of it shaking the walls. The whisper rose into a low, guttural moan, reverberating through the cabin. I grabbed the doorknob and yanked, but it wouldn't budge. Behind me, the light from the lamp began to flicker more violently, casting wild, shifting shadows across the room. I could see movement in those shadows, figures that seemed to dance and writhe against the walls, their shapes distorted and unnatural. And then, I saw it. Emerging from the crack in the wall, something dark and viscous began to seep out, pooling onto the floor. It moved with a life of its own, slithering toward me. I backed away, my breath catching in my throat. The whisper became a roar, and in that moment, I felt something cold wrap around my ankle. I looked down to see a hand, pale and skeletal, reaching out from the shadow on the floor. Before I could react, it tightened its grip and began to pull. I screamed, kicking wildly, and the hand retreated, but not before leaving a freezing, burning sensation on my skin. I stumbled backward, falling against the table, knocking over the lamp. The room was plunged into darkness, save for the faint glow from the crack in the wall. In the dark, I could hear them. Footsteps, slow, deliberate, circling me. And then a voice, low and distorted, whispered right into my ear. "You shouldn't have come here.